Hey guys, so gonna be honest with you, today has been a very mixed day. Mainly because I got a chemistry test back this afternoon and I failed pretty much. Now I think part of the thing that made it so much worse was the fact that my teachers were so clearly very disappointed, and but I think in some ways I needed it. I needed a wake up call just to say that, you feel like, up until, and I wouldn't say up until now, for the last maybe 2 weeks or so, I haven't really felt like I've been coping very well. And coping in the sense that, I really don't like being one of those people who just sort of bobs on the surface and is just keeping on top of things. But that's the sort of person I feel like I've become. And I think that has kind of showed that although it looks like I'm getting my stuff in on time and I'm just about doing it, I'm really not. Because, some of the mistakes I was making were, they were really horrid mistakes, but some of it wasn't that far away. But yeah, it's really showing me that I really need to reevaluate my priorities, because up until now this year, I've basically just tried to do anything and everything. Not anything and everything. Everything feels like it's important, which means that it's really hard to prioritize because, you don't want to cut things out. Now, my mum wants me to cut down on my karate because she's like, you're going 2 evenings a week already, and then, the time it takes and all that sort of thing. But then it's at the same time, as I was talking about before, I've got my grading, and therefore if I don't go, then I'm kind of losing out there as well. And then I don't really want to drop it either, and it's a bit of a mess in that way. But this I kind of wanted to link to Thisbedottie's latest video, which was about laziness, and to do with how doing what you're passionate about isn't always the easiest thing, in a way that, yeah, it's not necessarily something you want to do if you have to put effort into it, because it feels like if you want to enjoy it, then you shouldn't necessarily have to work at it, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's what sometimes happens to me. I feel like I don't necessarily put more work into it because I feel like I've got it, but it kind of shows when I don't have enough time to put enough work into it that it sort of comes out and, it's not how I'd like it to be. But also because I think, I'm going to have you hold me accountable to this, and we'll see what happens. So tomorrow I have a mock interview. Now, the mock interview is basically a mock university interview for medicine, which is what I've applied for this year. But they're notoriously really difficult, and even me and my friend and I, who are both going for this mock interview, both haven't really prepared much, but my friend has done. It just feels like she's more prepared because she's just an amazing person in that way. She's the kind of person who could probably wing it and still do really well. So, I'm gonna try. The good thing is, the mock interview is tomorrow, but I have a day off from school tomorrow. So what I'm basically doing is trying to spend as much time this evening and tomorrow morning before the interview, which is at 1, basically cramming anything and everything that I can learn. But I was talking to my mum this morning, and she's like, and quite understandably so, she wasn't really very empathetic. She was like, well, you've not really, you haven't really evaluated where you're spending your time. So, you're not helping yourself. And, although that felt really harsh coming from my mum, I think it needed to be said, because I do really need to pull my socks up if I'm actually going to get the grades that I need, and also actually, getting an interview is one thing, but if you want to get a place, then you have to do well in that interview. So it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, suppose you want to be passionate about what you want to do, but that also means that you have to rejig the things that you're already doing to make space for that. And sometimes it just feels easier just to go with what you know, and that's not the best thing, because as you can see, going with what you know can just lead you to not be able to focus properly and actually get where you need to go. So, 5-minute ramble. Now, that was actually quite a coherent ramble, so I don't think I'm going to cut anything, but I guess I just really want to make sure that I'm resilient and actually persistent in things that don't necessarily come as naturally. Having to change your routine is hard. It's really hard. And, it's not the easiest thing at all, but I think I really need to do it because I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting where I want to be, and I think that's the thing you have to realise sometimes, that, you know, I think where you get is literally quite often determined by how much you want to get there. And I think I'm really seeing that now. Like, if I really want to get where I want to go, I am going to have to change. Like, it's not an if question, it's a, you know, it's a when question. Like, when am I going to do this? When am I going to realise that I need to change? So, I just needed to get that off me, I think, because I'm not feeling the best, because obviously I'm not feeling very prepared for tomorrow, and it feels like a really big thing, because it's like 3 doctors and like a 20-minute interview, and then I need to try and work out everything else that I've got ongoing in school. So it doesn't necessarily feel like I'm doing anything very well at the moment, but hopefully, not even hopefully, I'm gonna make the changes, and it'll be good. So, sorry for the ramble, and if you've watched this far, thank you, because I'm just talking about myself today. But also, I'm just really sad about the whole decision to bomb Syria. Like, do we really need to kill more innocent people? Like, is that really a thing? No, please. No. Like, that just really disappointed me, I think, because, like, the public clearly don't want it, and it's just not something we should do. We really shouldn't. Okay, right, so, after that really, really long ramble, I will hopefully see you tomorrow with happier news, or not necessarily happier news, but perhaps things that I'm learning and things that I want to do. And as always, if you have any suggestions for me to talk about that are a bit less downer, or I don't know, it wasn't necessarily down today, but yeah, any suggestions are very welcome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.